Have you ever wondered why humans dream while sleeping? For centuries, people believed dreams were mysterious messages or predictions about the future. But modern science has discovered that dreaming is actually connected to how our brains process emotions, memories, and daily experiences. During sleep, especially in the REM stage, rapid eye movement, the brain becomes highly active. Interestingly, this is the phase where most vivid dreams occur. Researchers believe dreams help the brain organize information collected throughout the day, almost like sorting files on a computer. Dreams may also serve an emotional purpose. For example, if someone experiences stress or excitement during the day, those feelings can reappear in dreams as unusual or symbolic scenarios. That's why, sometimes, a completely random dream may actually reflect hidden worries or desires. Even more fascinating is the fact that everyone dreams, even if they don't remember it. On average, a person can have 4 to 6 dreams in a single night. So yeah, dreams are not just strange nighttime stories created by imagination. They are, in a way, a natural system through which the brain reviews experiences, manages emotions, and perhaps prepares us mentally for future challenges, while we simply appear to be resting.
Deep beneath the ocean surface, there exists a world so unexplored that scientists know more about parts of the moon than certain regions of Earth's oceans. This is mainly because extreme pressure, freezing temperatures, and total darkness make deep-sea exploration incredibly difficult. At depths greater than 1,000 meters, sunlight completely disappears. This means creatures living there have evolved in fascinating ways. Some fish produce their own light through a process called bioluminescence, allowing them to attract prey, communicate, or hide from predators. Imagine surviving in an environment where creating your own light is essential for life. Even more unusual are the temperatures. While some deep-sea areas are near freezing, hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor release superheated water rich in minerals. Around these vents, entire ecosystems thrive without relying on sunlight, which completely changed scientists' understanding of how life can exist. Researchers believe these environments may even help explain how life first began on Earth billions of years ago. So, yeah, the deep ocean is not simply empty water stretching into darkness. It is a hidden ecosystem filled with extraordinary life forms, scientific mysteries, and environments so extreme that they almost seem more alien than anything humans have discovered in outer space.
Time moves differently depending on where you are and how fast you travel. This may sound like science fiction, but it is actually a real scientific principle known as time dilation. According to modern physics, time is not completely fixed, it can slow down or speed up under certain conditions. For example, astronauts aboard spacecraft experience time slightly differently compared to people on Earth. Because they travel at extremely high speeds and are exposed to different gravitational forces, tiny differences in time measurement can occur. These changes are incredibly small, but they are measurable with precise atomic clocks. Gravity also plays a surprising role. The stronger the gravitational field, the slower time passes. This means a clock placed closer to Earth's surface ticks ever so slightly slower than one positioned at a higher altitude. This concept is not just theoretical. Systems like GPS satellites must actually account for time dilation. Without these corrections, navigation systems would become inaccurate by several kilometers each day. So, yeah, time is not simply a universal clock ticking the same way for everyone. It behaves more like a flexible dimension influenced by speed, gravity, and motion. In a way, every second you experience is connected not only to the clock on your wall, but also to the physics of the universe itself.
Volcanoes are often seen as symbols of destruction, but in many ways, they are also responsible for creating life-supporting conditions on Earth. Without volcanic activity, the planet would look very different from what we know today. When volcanoes erupt, they release gases such as carbon dioxide, water vapor, and nitrogen into the atmosphere. Scientists believe that billions of years ago, these gases helped form Earth's early atmosphere and contributed to the development of oceans. In a strange way, some of the conditions necessary for life may have originated from violent geological activity. Volcanic eruptions also create new land. Islands such as those in Hawaii were formed through repeated eruptions over millions of years. As lava cools and hardens, fresh rock surfaces appear, eventually allowing plants, insects, and animals to establish ecosystems. Another fascinating fact is that volcanic soil is often extremely fertile. Minerals released from lava and ash enrich the ground, making certain volcanic regions ideal for agriculture. So, yeah, while volcanoes can be dangerous and unpredictable, they are not simply natural disasters waiting to happen. They are powerful geological systems that have shaped continents, influenced climate, and contributed to the long-term development of life on Earth in ways most people rarely consider.
Ice may seem like one of the simplest substances on Earth, but its behavior is actually quite unusual compared to most materials. When most liquids freeze, they become denser and sink. Water, however, does the opposite. As water cools and turns into ice, its molecules arrange themselves into a crystal structure that takes up more space than liquid water. This expansion makes ice less dense, allowing it to float. This small scientific difference has a massive impact on life across the planet. Because ice floats, lakes and oceans freeze from the surface downward rather than becoming solid blocks from the bottom up. The top layer of ice acts like insulation, trapping relatively warmer water underneath and allowing aquatic life to survive even during extremely cold winters. Without this property, many ecosystems would collapse seasonally, especially in colder regions where water bodies experience prolonged freezing temperatures. Ice also reflects a significant amount of sunlight back into space, helping regulate Earth's temperature. Large polar ice caps play an important role in balancing the planet's climate system. So, yeah. Something as ordinary as ice in a glass of water is actually part of a larger natural design that supports ecosystems, influences global temperatures, and makes life on Earth more stable than it might otherwise be.
Paper may seem like a simple everyday material, but its history and impact on human civilization are far more significant than most people realize. And before paper became widely available, people recorded information on materials such as stone tablets, animal skin, bamboo, and papyrus. The invention of paper is generally credited to ancient China, where early forms were developed using plant fibers, cloth scraps, and tree bark. This innovation made writing surfaces lighter, cheaper, and much easier to produce on a larger scale. Over time, paper transformed education, trade, administration, and communication. Books could be copied more efficiently, official records became easier to maintain, and ideas could spread beyond local communities. The printing revolution later accelerated this process even further. With printed books and newspapers, knowledge became more accessible to ordinary people rather than remaining limited to small educated groups. Modern paper production has evolved significantly, with recycling now playing an important environmental role. Recycled paper reduces waste, saves energy, and lowers the demand for fresh raw materials. So yeah, paper is not just a surface people write on casually every day. It has been one of the most influential inventions in human history, shaping learning, preserving knowledge, and supporting communication.
Glass appears solid and motionless, but its formation process is far more unusual than most everyday materials. Unlike typical solids that arrange their particles into highly organized crystal patterns, glass has a disordered internal structure more similar to a liquid that has simply stopped flowing. This happens when materials such as sand are heated to extremely high temperatures until they melt completely. Once cooled rapidly, the atoms do not have enough time to organize into crystals, creating the transparent material commonly recognized as glass. This unusual structure gives glass many of its familiar properties. It can be transparent, fragile, and resistant to certain chemical reactions, all because of the way its atoms are arranged. Glass has played a major role in human development. Without it, technologies such as microscopes, telescopes, smartphone screens, and laboratory equipment would not exist in their current forms. Scientific discoveries involving space, medicine, and biology were greatly accelerated through advances in glass production. Another interesting fact is that glass can be recycled repeatedly without losing quality, making it one of the more sustainable materials when managed properly. So yeah, something as ordinary as a window
Deserts are often imagined as empty landscapes filled only with sand and extreme heat, but in reality, they are among the most specialized ecosystems on Earth. A desert is not defined by temperature alone, it is classified by receiving very little annual rainfall. Because water is scarce, plants and animals living in deserts have developed remarkable survival strategies. Cacti, for example, store water in thick stems and reduce moisture loss through modified leaves called spines. Even their waxy outer layer helps prevent evaporation under intense sunlight. Animals have adapted as well. Many desert species are nocturnal, meaning they remain inactive during the hottest hours of the day and become active at night when temperatures are lower. This behavior helps conserve both energy and water. Deserts can also experience dramatic temperature shifts. During the day, surface temperatures may become extremely high, while nights can turn surprisingly cold due to the lack of moisture and cloud cover. Despite harsh conditions, deserts support a surprising diversity of life and unique ecosystems. So yeah, deserts are not simply barren regions where survival seems impossible. They are highly adapted natural environments where organisms have evolved efficient systems to manage limited resources, temperature extremes, and long periods without rainfall.